Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves some tracks off of an album called The Melancholy Slow Dance by Erick McNerney. And if we switch over to here, we've got ourselves Nikane or Nikane as well, who apparently is doing vocals on each of these tracks. We've got ourselves the album on Spotify with the album art here, but in actuality, we're going to be looking through the lyric videos for these tracks. Just so that I can make sure that I hear it all nice and clearly. You know, I want to make sure I get the story as well as the music. We've got music and lyrics by Erick McNerney, vocal performance by Nikane or Nikane, bass guitar, percussion and keyboards by Nikane, electric guitars, and additional keyboards and percussion, Erick McNerney. Produced by Erick McNerney, mixed and mastered by Owen Claxton. 2021 Beautiful Void music. Fantastic. We're going to listen through each of these tracks from start till finish. We're going to watch these videos. And we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, starting with Come Haunt Me featuring Nikane or Nikane. Oh, that's nice and loud off the bat, isn't it? I'm loving the pianos and their resonance within the mix. And the bass there. Oh, she's got a nice voice, hasn't she? Lots of softness there. Oh, okay, we're getting really dark with it. I mean, obviously we're talking about death off the bat, you know? It's really not love if we can't let it grow. If I sang at your funeral, would you come haunt me? If I sang at your funeral, would you come haunt me? Wow. I suppose, is that an invitation, is it? We've got these ethereal sounding synths going on here with the filtered drums. It's quite pretty, isn't it, the overall harmony? I like the grace notes that the singer is doing. I'm losing my mind. You know, they're kind of da-da. You know, I can't sing, but she's got that groove, that vibe to it. It's great. She's slick with her technique, and there's some good choice in notes within these melodies. It's really not love if we can't let it grow. It's really well mixed, you know, her voice is distinct within the rest of the elements of the mix. You really don't care, just leave me right here. Kill me in your mind, strike me blind, waste me on the spot. I don't care if this is sane or not. Okay, I mean, I think this is a good amount of tension and energy within this part of the track. I'm wondering if it will change later on, but then again, it is in that 2 to 4 minute range, so it's okay if we have a similar vibe over this. I just hope there's maybe an additional instrumental layer as we go along. Okay, we're going back and allowing a bit of air and grace in there. Going back to that chorus or bridge. It's really not love if we can't let it grow. Okay. We've got nice repeaters there in the vocals that fill up the space and a riser here. A riser would potentially infer that we've got a difference, a more intense period. Okay. Okay, we've got a nice reverb tail on those, Okay. Again, I think that her vocals suit the general oral aesthetic of the music. You know, it's very like, it's kind of got that post-rock kind of vibe to it, the wistfulness, the misty nature of it. Almost sounds, I was going to say spiritual. I'm not quite sure if that's the right word for it, but... It's good to have those strings on the left. I feel like if we just copied and pasted the chorus for this last one, it wouldn't have had nearly the effect the second time around, you know? I mean, her vocals are coming through clearly. I probably didn't actually need to watch the lyric video. I can understand it quite well. Oh, I was kind of hoping that the vocals would go along here because I thought they started on this side. we kind of hung in the middle, you know. Okay, we're going a little bit higher in that range. I'm not really sure if I'm vibing with that much gain on it. Like, there's quite a lot of gain on that vocal channel there. A little bit of sizzle would have been quite nice. A little bit of distortion, but that seems quite a lot. It sounds kind of aggressive in a song that's otherwise very, very soft and very, I'm liking that we're coming back down now, I suppose. Maybe that the distortion in those vocals then was to infer a sense of inner mental chaos or something like that. I don't know. Aside from that grit and the distortion, though, I'm really happy with this song. I think that it's well mixed. I love the layers and the harmony there, the textures are within it. Lots of soft, lush coloration within this track. There were gradual builds and there were also parts where we let things get a little bit empty there, and I think that was great. We got rid of the low end. The fourth harmonies was paid attention to for the most part. And yeah, it was interesting. I wouldn't have wanted this to be any longer, though. I think we got the story within the first couple of minutes. Having that bit of tension there, that change in the vocals was important, even if I didn't necessarily agree with the amount of it that we had. It's of the effect that we had. Everything else was spectacular. Nikane is a great singer. Great teamwork so far. Great teamwork so far. Yeah, it's definitely a pop single. You know, it's a great first impression. We have Out of Control, the lyric video, as the second single to be released, taken from the upcoming album, The Melancholy Slow Dance. It's a prog rock ballad about the spiteful feelings you can have towards someone you've fallen out of love with. Great. All right, let's do it. Track number 2. Boom. It's nice to have this piano coming in here. I wonder how it's going to be prog. I'm liking the piano having its time to shine. Okay, so, I mean, I did read that right. It's a prog rock ballad, of course. We've got the piano coming in for the ballad. Vocals sitting on top. It's great. Nice filtering with the vocals. I mean, I didn't really talk about what Come Haunt Me was about. My understanding of the first song, Come Haunt Me, was it was about saying, even in the afterlife, spend time with me. Let me know that you're still there. You know, I don't want to lose that connection entirely. Not sure what Out of Control is, though. Oh, okay. Thanks, YouTube. Oh, a little bit of tension there. Is that a chromatic or an accidental? Okay, we've got some guitars in there. Bit of distortion in there. A little bit of sizzle. Well managed, though. The drums are quite subtle, though, aren't they? Has a similar tonality or feel to it that Come Haunt Me does. I mean, this is a little bit more energetic because of the drums and the slightly faster tempo, maybe. Oh, nice build with the kicks. Okay. It's kind of cool to have these. Okay, we got some guitar melodies here. It's great to hear Nikane exploring her vocal range there, just going up high along the, you know, above all the bass and guitar parts and everything else. They're very distinct again in the mix. I remember talking about that before. Okay, we're going double time or normal time. It's very, very busy in terms of the lead melodies. I'm not sure if I should be paying attention to the guitars or the vocals. It would have been good to maybe have the guitars split on either side or something like that. Or you could have potentially double-tracked the vocals and had them on either side of the mix and had the guitar in the center so that the vocals were surrounding you like the thoughts spinning around your head, you know? I'm liking how interesting we're making this bass line. Boom, 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 boom. We've got that revolving this entire track, that bass line there. But it doesn't get old. It doesn't become stale. There's a lot to respect about that, you know? I like this part here. I like the intensity of the guitars and the tremolo picking and the increased sort of intensity of the vocal performance here. This makes a lot of sense for me. It does feel like we're getting to the end of the song though. So I'm not sure how we're going to continue it beyond this point. I think having a piano break was a smart move. I don't think we could have told more of the story without a break. Good job having space here. Good job having an outro that isn't as intense. So this song was about someone who was sort of losing their mind, losing control, and things become hopeless at the end, maybe? They finally have lost it completely and there's no coming back from that? Is that what this track is about? I kind of want to listen through the chorus again. We've got time to do that. I've lost you to a vow. I don't know what that means though. I lost you to a vow. That's a mystery to me. Maybe I'm missing some nuance. Maybe there was some inference in the earlier verses or something. Maybe it's a metaphor. I don't know. But I do like the fragility, vulnerability shown in the vocal performance. I think that the singer is emoting well and it's an authentic vocal performance. I think the guitars mirror the emotional tension there really, really well. They're more animalistic. And I have an appreciation for that. I think that you could write off the panning of the guitars and say, well, actually, maybe it's all in the center, like all there, you know, like overwhelming you and stuff like that. I'm not saying this stuff to be nice. I'm trying to understand the decisions made by the songwriters and producers involved in this track. For the most part, I'm thoroughly stoked with it. I'm being pedantic, I suppose. But that's part of the job description potentially. I don't know. But yeah, a really solid second track. No real complaints about this. Again, the production, recording, mixing, and mastering was respectable. And yeah, basically we're on to track 3 now, aren't we? Yeah? It's very wistful kind of post-rock sort of popish alt-rock kind of stuff that came up. There was a lot of it in the 2010s. A lot of it in the late 90s as well. I like that we go in cycles between different genres of music. And despite what I just said then, I think that Erick McNerney and Nikane have got something really special here, and I hope they continue to stick at it. A melancholy indie rock ballad with a retro feel. Like many of the songs on the Melancholy Slow Dance album, this one deals with love and dreams. For more songs from this album, subscribe here. Cool, cool, cool. There's also people doing like strings like Joy Lynn, and we've got a quote here, yet it is our idleness and our dreams that the submerged truth sometimes comes to the top, by Virginia Woolf. Even the loveliest dream bears like a blemish, its difference from reality, the awareness that what it grants is mere illusion. Theodore Weisengrund Adorno. It's genuinely fascinating stuff. I like quotes. I like quotes. I like when you've got that intellect related to a track and you've really put deep thought into it and you're really trying to sort of enact a concept or a philosophical topic into play. This will be the last of the 3 tracks today. We're going to listen through this final track from start to finish, see what we think. What do we got? What do we got? Great to hear a guitar led with that lovely reverb tail. Some delay in there as well. Oh no, like, what is that? There's a specific type of guitar pedal that I think they're using there. A really, like, well-known coveted one. Strymon or something like that. There's a specific pedal that sounds like. Okay, the drums sit really nicely in the mix with the guitar parts. Alright. It does kind of sound like we're floating a little bit, doesn't it? I gotta be honest. Oh, we're going up into that high head voice. Lovely backing vocals here. Great choir-like effect here. Ah, I get it. Yeah, the reason it's doing that is because I had these videos loaded up earlier and they're just kind of... YouTube likes to buffer them again. I'm liking the overall harmony provided here by the different guitar takes, vocal takes, as well as the guitar, drums, and the bass guitar as well. I'm liking how we're soaring about, man. It's great. And the rain swept field. What else we got? The slide guitar is a nice touch we haven't really had yet. I like how we're not trying to reach too close to that resolution, but then we finally find the strength to go, you know, we go up to that there. That's great work with the transition there between the loops. This is probably my favorite so far, I have to say. It's really pleasant to listen to. That tension with that guitar line to work and sync so well with the vocals is fantastic, man. Great thinking there. Great thinking, man. And the lovely jingle jangle of the major tonality coming back in for this part of the song. This one's flowing by. This song is flowing by so well. I mean, I'm not entirely sure how it's melancholic. It sounds incredibly peaceful, doesn't it? Are they indifferent despite their surroundings? Is the happiness lying within being melancholic? It's an interesting thing. I mean, all turn to grey. You're being a bit cheeky with this because I can tell what we're trying to do here with the lyrics and stuff like that. But we've also got a situation where we end so like nicely. I'm not sure. It's a tricky like balancing act between trying to write a catchy song that people will be able to appreciate and also trying to be sort of like to mirror the subject matter of the lyrics. I think the I think there might have been a parallel minor or something there. We did well not going to the parallel, like the normal major or something like that. I like that a lot. You spin away. Yeah, that's interesting. The Melancholy Slow Dance, you spin away. So is it like the way that... Over my time as a reviewer, occasionally I hear songs and they speak of a certain type of personality or emotional set. And then the music is trying to balance that with trying to, again, as I said, sound good. And this is purely subjective. This isn't even like near like really a huge critique or anything like that. I'm not even really being critical. I just want to talk about it. I understand when we finished on the major chord there. I realized that like it would have been like kind of cheesy maybe even to have finished on the minor, or a little bit too sort of dark. I was wondering, like, could we not have finished on like a sus chord or like some other type of indifferent chord, like one that isn't, or like had a major seventh chord to illustrate a complexity to the happiness, a bittersweet nature to it, a melancholy, because these extended tonalities can really help to display a sense of, again, a sense of complexity of the situation. Again, like if we're trying to write an album where maybe the lyrics are sort of deep enough, you don't necessarily want to add added complexity to the harmony. So it's a balancing act. Like we're not talking about like heavy metal where that's vicious and aggressive and that can match the subject matter. I don't even know if I'll include it, but like just I really appreciate the fact that we're trying to balance that stuff out. With the chord choices that we use in the harmonies. Not everyone gets it right. And of course it's subjective. Why should music make sense to someone as long as it makes sense to the person who wrote it, right? That's a philosophical debate for another day. Ultimately though, this album by Erick McNerney, featuring Nikane or Nikane, is a great album because this is the conclusion of the album review that I'm doing today off of these 3 tracks. I think that they all represent the best qualities of the musicians involved. Come Haunt Me, a story about, as I mentioned before, I think it's about if we lost each other, would you come find me? Would you ever sever that connection? I wouldn't want you to do that. I'm out of control, a person gradually losing their way, maybe for whatever reason, and spinning and sort of, again, that platform being lost. And then we had the Melancholy Slow Dance, which is about people having that connection and then just losing that person because no matter how careful they are, sometimes people just don't know how to dance, They don't know how to live or they don't know how to love. And it's destructive and chaotic and bittersweet. And it can, of course, bring on that sense of melancholy, within itself. But ultimately, I think the subject matter was interesting for all 3 songs. The vocal performance from Nikane was splendid. Again, I don't necessarily feel that I needed to look at the lyric videos to hear her vocals clearly, but I'm nonetheless glad I did so that I could read through the story. The instrumental performances, like the guitar, bass, drum parts, all that other string stuff, all that good stuff going on. The different textures and timbres and atmospheres present within the music. There's a lot to appreciate in this. The recording, mixing, and mastering was pretty sensational too. Aside from like the bits, especially that last bit where I was talking about the chord choices to end a song, when you're talking about the lead line and end situation, that's purely me just sort of like prattling on and having a bit of a talk. It's not even necessarily a huge critique, but it's stuff I think about when I listen to music like this, where there's complexity with the themes. And I think there might have been another couple of things I pointed out throughout this review. But ultimately, for the most part, it was a sensational experience with these musicians, and I'm really glad I had the opportunity to listen to their tunes. I wish them the best of luck with the album, and hopefully they can do more and create more amazing music in future. But effectively, this was my review of the Melancholy Slow Dance by Erick McNerney and Nikane. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show these musicians some love via their various social medias and Spotify page and YouTube. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. Catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.